In the year 2000, I went to see Michel Roux, one of the famous Roux brothers, who just changed the way we eat in the UK, fundamentally. I'd been to their restaurant, I'd done the research, well, you would, wouldn't you? Michel is the dreamer of the brothers, and I asked him a sort of an obvious first question, if food was very important to him.
I do, yes, I do. I think it comes top on my agenda, and it's day after day. It's any time during the day. I like the look of the food, the smell, the taste. I love everything. I love the ingredient. Food is in my genes, yes.
Yeah, because your father was in the food business,
yes,
and your
grandfather. I mean, and my son is alongside working with me now. So is Albertson as well. So it's the fourth generation into the food.
I wonder if it ever seems to you a bizarre thing to come from where you were born to Britain, because you say it's here. I almost committed it to memory. One of the most appalling things I've ever seen is English peas.
Yes. But that was the peas in 1967-70. We now have gone back to real peas. We've got the small peas.
Yeah, but we still eat mushy peas.
But I don't mind if they're good mushy peas. That's fine. On little French fry with a little fish, fried fish. Mushy peas doesn't disturb me. Good mushy peas. What I don't like is the big green pea. Like if they look at me, and if I take one, I think I'm going to die. And the dollop of ketchup on it, and the slice of white bread, nicely bleached. That was Britain at its best.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you arrived here, we were like an ancient tribe in need of missionaries, weren't we?
Yeah.
We lived, I mean, it's amazing that the British ever carried on living because our nutrition was so horrendous. Did you feel that we needed you?
Yes, my brother and myself were the two monks.
Yeah.
We came with, a robe, our cross, and we felt very happy after a few years. But it took a few years to get it right. Not for us, but to the public to understand what we were talking about.
But when you started, you didn't have to fight for success.
No, but it was a small nucleus of people, who understood what we were doing. And we wanted to make it bigger. We expanded to the city, we expanded to the West End, we expanded to the country.
Yeah.
So
I suppose the biggest question mark over what you do is, does good food, and I think I know the answer as I ask the question, does it have to be expensive? Does it have to be for the fortunate few?
No, never. Food is something which hasn't got to be sophisticated, nor than expensive. So you need the most simple ingredient, if they are the best quality, can really give you the best dish. Simplicity, in fact, in cooking and cheap ingredients are the best.
But, yes. but the man who's saying this is the one who says, and I'm going to test it out, he says, if you want good champagne, get a Magnum.
Yes,
because it tastes better in a Magnum.
It does. Especially better than the 20 centiliters they give you on an air flight,
But why? I mean, why should it be better? Like you say, a stew is bigger. The bigger the better. It'll taste better.
Absolutely. The volume make it better. But it is. There is no doubt that the volume for wine, it's like a Magnum for a great red wine. The Magnum will age better. The wine will become better. And funny enough, it will age later as well. I had a very excellent experience at Alain Sanderin's last week. We were all the 3 stars for the 100th anniversary of the Michelin. We were all called together in Paris. And we had side by side the 1990 Gosset Champagne, bottle and Magnum, 2 glasses. I can tell you, the bottle was not over the top, but really quite advanced and edgy. The champagne, the Magnum, the same vintage, was kicking like a child, boom, 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 and showing the youth. So it just shows you that there is a truth about, obviously, and the quality was better in the Magnum.
I can quote, I think, there's a little passage in your book about champagne. You say it's the only drink you can take at any time of the day. You can take it at breakfast, you can take it at lunch. I think you say you can drink it before making love, and during.
And even after.
And even after.
Yes. And I haven't changed my mind and my optic, and I still practice.
Good. We're pleased to hear that. We've gone through the wine supermarket revolution in the UK. I mean, the champagne you buy there, it's not what you mean, is it?
No.
Because sometimes it can be disappointing.
No, there is one thing about champagne, is that cheap champagne doesn't exist. You've got to pay for champagne. It's not like cheap white wine, cheap red wine. The world is supplying, and thank God the world is getting smaller. The Chilean wine, the South African wine, other part of the world, but Chile and South Africa are making excellent wine at very reasonable prices. Now, champagne, there is only champagne. Or then you've got sparkling wine. And if you go low range on champagne, on the brand, you will get really what you pay for. And it's pretty poor and mean. So you've got to go for a good champagne and pay a bit of money, I'm afraid, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come to that. Actually, we're in the presence of a smuggler. You used to be a smuggler.
Yes, I used to be a smuggler. Don't tell anyone.
No, I won't tell anybody.
David,
but
that's you and
yes,
me.
Yeah, okay.
Cross finger?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating. What was it you smuggled? Foie gras. Yeah. Isn't there a time when the man at customs looks at it and says, "Ooh, that doesn't look very nice"?
I told him it was a liver pate. And he said, "Well, it doesn't look very nice." And he let me go. It was not very nice of me to do that.
No, not very nice.
Yes, I nearly didn't put it in a book, and I said, I've got to do it. I mean, if you hide everything, you don't write. I mean, you've got to be real, factual, and say those little things. Yeah. We brought foie gras in Britain when it didn't exist. It's like when we started serving foie gras chaud. Nobody served foie gras chaud. People didn't know how to treat foie gras. We served it. We were amongst the first to serve it in Europe, in fact. Foie gras rôti. I used to roast my whole foie gras au citrus and carve it in the dining room in early 70s, 75.
Why aren't you enormously fat? Is it because
that's upset you now? I can see that.
No, but I mean, you eat all this rich stuff, and this book. I mean, it is a book about passion. It is a passion for food. But there is one guy. You go to a meeting. You have a meal with him, and he was a fellow 3-star Michelin chef. And by the time he was 50, he was dead. And you think, well, if you ate like that all the time and didn't take much exercise, I can understand. But you are trim with the sparkling eyes.
Sparkling is the champagne.
Yes.
Now, I personally think that I'm quite disciplined. So I believe that excess is not on the top of my list, and therefore I think it's a good balance. I don't go over the top, and I try to give my system a bit of a breathing space. So a couple of days a week I don't drink wine, and I eat either vegetarian or a little soup, a salad, but very little. And I certainly do not have 2 meals a day. Even in my kitchen I will taste, but I will have 1 meal a day. And I'm still active, so I burn, all that excess.
But there is one glorious bit at the back of the book, because the book is arranged like a fine meal.
Yes,
it is in courses.
A banquet.
Yes. But there's puddings. There's desserts. Yeah. And when you worked for the Rothschilds, didn't they always say, go light on the cheese, because my man, he's good at tarts.
Yes.
He's good.
She used to say that to her guest. Yes, lovely, isn't it? Best compliment. But she wouldn't say that to me. She used to say that to the guests quietly. And then the major domo, Marcel, used to hear that. And bless his heart, he used to come to see me and say, I hope your dessert is up to scratch today. As mademoiselle has been talking about your dessert again, and they're not having cheese.
But, I mean, did it seem, working in the Rothschild family, the grandeur of it all, there's some of your handwritten menus in here. I mean, what a fantastic way of life.
Yeah. And the beauty as well is to see where she used to cross and put her order and said no, and the pen. I still got those books, all my order book, with the pencil, the original pencil, the little string holding the pencil. Should have brought it today. I still got my first little book of my recipes as well from the age of 14. It's very important to keep what My link is about my life, my beginning.
Because now you can go to college and learn how to do this, but you say you didn't do that. You just kind of did it.
Yes. Well, it was like university, really, working for the Rothschild. As I said in the book, again, I mean, I've learned a lot more than cooking. I've learned about testing wine. I drank the greatest wine of the world, Chateau Lafite Rothschild, Carvat de Rothschild, Paul Roger Champagne, and Chateau Yquem. But apart from that, I discovered art. I was able to find about the greatest painters of the last 300-400 centuries. In fact, they had so many paintings. She used to have them on the floor along the corridor, in the staff quarter. She couldn't hang them all on the wall. There was not enough space. And then I learned as well about business, running a business before opening my own restaurant, as I had a book, obviously, my expense book, and I had a budget. So all those things made me, plus of course I discovered financing as well, and I discovered a little of the stock exchange, of how to put money, what we call boursicoter in French, which is to buy a few shares. I had no idea when I left school at 14 what it means. But hearing things, seeing things, opening your eyes is what I've learned in life. Yeah.
Tell me what it felt like. Can you remember the physical sensation of what it felt like when you knew you got the 3 Michelin stars for the first time?
Mm-hmm. It was good. It was a bit like there was different things happening at the time, obviously, in the mind. Which one was first, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I was extremely happy. Immediately, I thought about my team, about the people who work alongside. As everything you get it with a team of people. So I thought about my head chef, my manager, and I thought about my brother as well, as I wanted my brother to know and be alongside with me, as we've been working for so many years together. But before anything, I thought, great, my team are going to be so proud and so happy. Then immediately after, later on, a few seconds after, I thought, zut. In fact, shit was the word. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
You can't blank it. I thought, nah, you've got to, gaining it is one thing, keeping it is another thing. And keeping it, of course, it's been hard, but it's a way of life. Since I like the best, I'm close to a perfectionist, or look for perfection. I've been able to keep it for 15 years. That's what we're going to try to keep it for a bit longer.
The book is lovely. I mean, this man who is so civilized. There's the bit where you go off and kill a pig.
That was an affair, and I started the millennium that way. I wanted it that way, to go back to the base, to go back to the civilization, to go back to our ancestors. Yes, Brussels is lovely, but keep Brussels away from me, please.
Right, so you went. So you're not afraid to go back to the roots of where the food actually comes from.
Absolutely.
A final question. The book is called Life is a Menu. A customer coming to one of your restaurants, when they finish the meal, what do you want them to feel? What adjectives would you like them to use about the experience?
Okay, well, I'd like them to be able to say at least one of the dish of the meal. As you know, getting the whole meal for them, a dream of life. I think it's a bit too much sometimes. But if they can single out one dish which for them is one of the best dish they ever had, that's something. Second thing I would look at is that they say, we feel so good. We feel like if we didn't have any meal, but we feel content, satisfied, happy, not bloated. And then they say, and then that's the what I call la crème, the topping up. It's when they say, this is what we call value for money. Don't mind spending money and pay for something which is expensive when you get the best. And that, I get it sometimes from my client, saying it. And that is the best message you can hear.
Life is a Menu. It's the book from Michel Roux.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.